Hey everybody, Chomsky here. Uh, Happy first day of Plarium's birthday event. 17 years to Plarium, so huzzah for them. But huzzah for us because we get basically a huge bonus here. We get double everything. Double mythical chance, double legendary chance, double epic chance, as well as a non-double rare chance. So that's good. For me, I was really fortunate that I had pulled, and I got a few champs, but the most notable ones was Darkseer, Gurk, Grugtha. Just gonna call her Darkseer as well. That's really the main one. I did pull a dupe Nell, but not a big deal. Really, just want to talk about Darkseer as well as Anaxia, and then just go through them really quick. She's new. I really liked her. I really wanted her back when she was in the prison pool. I still dig her. My problem is just gear. I need to make sure that I get better gear and appropriate gear, right? Darkseer is a legendary attack from the Ogryn tribes, magic based, um, kind of nutty. A shit ton of AoEs. So we're going to have some fun with this. AoE on the A1, an extra hit if they have attack that's less than hers. Usually those second hits kind of like smackaroo. So this is pretty solid. And I did book her up as well because it's CVC and all that fun stuff. Here's a pretty wicked one. It's a 3-turn uh, AOE that basically equalizes all of the other HP of the enemies. So if you remember Night Rev in Faction Wars, there's Losin, which does it does the equalizer, and this is that. But this basically goes up to the average of the enemy team, whereas Losin does just a little bit different. Uh, Darkseer also ignores 30% of each target's defense if the average HP on that team is above 50. Places an extra hit if the average HP is 50% or lower. If she does kill someone, she basically goes up another 10% in her attack. I don't know how long that lasts, if that's just for the whole battle or just for that round. Um, I'm not smart enough to figure that out. So, um, yeah, I'm just running with it. Here, an A3 attacks all enemies twice. Before attacking, she's putting increased crit damage and shatter, which just ignores defense. The first hit decreases each target's defense by a dime, and then the second hit destroys each target's max HP by a dime. Stacks up um, pretty nicely. So it's really neat if you have her in a long-lasting team. Um, like really, just destroying max HP is pretty sweet because if they do get revived, this still hits. Whenever she lands a critical hit, heals them by 5% of their max HP. If it's if that HP bar is full, then critical hits fill up their turn meter by 5%. Whenever she receives any surplus healing, places a shield on her. It's basically to the value of the surplus heal. So not really that wild, but still, it's a shield. The value of the shield cannot exceed 30% of her max HP. So okay, it's just a very slight damage mitigator. That's fine. I have a 1-star blessing on her, and I put Heaven Cast on her just because she's going to get those 2 buffs on her in addition to anything else. I don't have any masteries on her. Um, kind of messing around with it. I definitely want Helm Smasher because I wanted to ignore defense. Initially, I wanted to have Lasting Gifts to extend those self buffs, but I'm not going to be able to get there because I want Lore of Steel. So I want I want all the stats and I want them more. So Lore of Steel is my go-to. So with that said, I think I'm gonna go methodical, just for those longer battles. A1s do more damage, and then kill streak because I do want her to kill people. So I'm gonna go with that. Uh, I don't think that she's going to exceed 30% of a target's max HP, so that's fine. I could give that up to get there and maybe get Cycle of Magic instead. We'll see. Um, at her current stage, I don't have her with a lot of HP, so like bring it down makes sense because people are gonna have more HP. Um, again, I'm still messing around with this. Obviously I don't have the scrolls, nor am I gonna buy it with gems. I'm just gonna take my time with it. But I also have Gore Crescent just because when she kills someone, I want her doing more damage, and then this is how I have my gems set up. So multi hits, yay. Uh, when she kills somebody, more damage. And then when she does get increased turn meter and stuff like that, it's 10% more effective. Currently, as I was complaining about earlier, I don't have the greatest setup here. Ideally, I would love to have a 4-piece lethal and then, 5-piece merciless, but not the case. Like, I just don't have the really good goods yet. And really, that's what it's coming down to. You could have the champs, but if you don't have the gear for it, it's not really going to do all that much. So at this current stage, I have her in supersonic. Um, really, just this way, like just for her to cut in. Like it'd be really, really rad if I could get another piece out there. But right now, I'm okay with just the the one merciless just for the attack and the supersonic right now. And I haven't really stripped her off from too many other good goods. So let's take her in somewhere. And I've been messing around with this uh, just a little bit on the side here. So I have her in Ogrin Tribe team. Really just so this way we could do a little bit more damage and just have some fun with, have her represent essentially. So we're gonna watch it. It gets kind of dicey, but it's still sustainable. So it's okay, and this really relies on poison and HP burn to do a lot of the damage. So I saw 298 on that A2. Really helped out with the A3 there to basically increase herself. A1, what, 65,000 right there as an AoE. So the A2 right there was a buck 52. That's not bad. Like I have some in feral, some in protection. So 128, 183. That's pretty sweet, man. Like damage wise, she's up there. 480. I'm not complaining about that. And here's a counterattack that's going to be coming in. 170 counterattack. 243. Okay. She dies, but that's fine. Because I'm basically going to win out on this one based on poisons and stuff. So it doesn't really matter to me that she died because basically the game was in hand. Vizung or Vizug, all that damage is poisons and HP burn. Gizzy is fine with that, but if we take away Vizug's poisons and HP burn, we still have a solid showing from Darkseer. So I I'm not gonna say I'm superly impressed, but I it is inspiring. Like she's not gonna be a a vault champion for me. I definitely want to mess around with her some more, and I think she's going to be really helpful in faction wars for sure. Is she going to be useful like in other areas? That's a great question. I mean, we have um, we know that there's going to be a coalition event coming up, right? So that should be happening tomorrow. This is done on Tuesday the 2nd. So ideally, I'm looking for me to get max benefit out of her. I'm looking at maybe spider, but just because of all the AOE's, I don't. She's not going to get any benefit from killing off those spiders because they're not really dead. So she doesn't get any of those extra bonuses and stuff like that, like this. So I really she's just an AOE champ. So Hydra, she gets a little bump up there. Um, Ice Golem, she could be fun. Dragon, as we just saw, that could be fun. Doom Tower, wave based content like that. I Anywhere where you need AOE's. So I have her more or less trying to ignore defense, but you could easily toss a stun set on her or a toxic set on her and just have her go nuts just with all those AoEs. That could be really neat. I wouldn't do a provoke on her, um, just because HP wise, I for this current setup, she's not there, man. 50 and 5-6 right here. That's not really a good Darkseer necessarily. The more HP you plop in, the more shield she's gonna get. So okay, or at least the potential. Um, and again, that's when she's capped. Right now, she's at 225. I I don't. This is not going to be a good build for PvP. That is way too low. Uh, Basically PvP builds I want at 330 or above. I could see her as being good potentially in PvP if she has a Crixia set up ahead of her, so this way everybody's clean, or basically an AoE stun or a fear ahead of her, just this way she could really just mop up. She's really dependent on her team, just because like all she's doing is equalizing. Like that's the only thing that she's doing against that team. So okay, like we ideally in an ideal world, we get Crixia, we get an AoE decreased defense, and then she comes in here, she does an A3 to kill someone, and then gets that extra turn, and then hopefully they're all deficient in HP, and then we just equalize, and then she kind of could help clean up there. Uh, that would be neat. Uh, Shit, we could even have Stone Cleaver with her. I don't have good Stone Cleaver, but just this way we can mop up even more on Stone Skin. So she's obviously a work in progress. She's going to get better. There's going to be more damage once I get masteries on her. As I said on my stream on Twitch this morning when I pulled her, I'm excited. I wanted her in the prison pulls. Um, and to have her now, I'm pumped. And I could kind of see why people are pumped for her. And with the ratings that they are, I'm for it, and I'm there with it. So yeah, way to go, Plarium on this champ. Additionally, the juxtaposition of that, I pulled Anaxia, and right now she's naked, and I don't necessarily want to do my, I don't want to necessarily build her out, but this is what I was just thinking. You want to make her tanky because she's HP and defense. So I have her at 271 right now, just in a 9-piece feral. I see her more as a support rather than that damage dealing. Uh, and I have her crit capped, as well as crit damage is very low. The accuracy isn't there, and that could change. But yeah, I'm not necessarily uh, seeing this happen because just like with Darkseer, I see her as more of an AoE type dealy. Um, because we have the A2 that's putting out leech, and then the shield element there too. Uh, you know, we're gonna have the leech and provoke and counterattack here. So a bunch of AoEs, and then here's an A1, which is fine. Um, it's gonna be healing, and that's fine. I just wanted a little bit more out of this primary form, just because I don't want to switch over where that can trigger Amarius. Um, we get this increase of stats here whenever she gets hit by a champion under leech. If enemy whose attack is higher or equal to their defense, they get a decreased attack, and the converse is true too. If their defense is higher than their attack, they get a decreased defense. That's neat. I'm not gonna lie. That's neat. I like that. When attacked by enemies under a leech, has a chance to toss a provoke out there. That's that's nice. You already have a Teox in that faction, so that's going to be your main damage dealer. If you pump up her crit damage, and then she could tag along with Teox and does this, and as long as there's a leech out there, that's some healing for everyone. I'm not mad about that. Like the kit, that primary kit seems to be okay. On the second form, it's HP based. Places a block buff for 2 turns. Can't be resisted if the target's HP is lower than the champ's. Okay. Like, okay. Ignoring Stone Skin, attacking one enemy. It, it goes up by 50% if the target's HP is lower than the champion's. Resets the cooldown if this target is killed. Okay. Attacks one enemy, places a crit damage boost on her, steals 50 of the turn meter, steals 100 if the target's HP is lower than the champ's, and then destroys HP. Meh. And then she's ignoring 15% of a target's defense. Like, every third skill this champion uses basically attacks all enemies. Okay. Like, I enjoy the idea of her joining in on attacks, but like this isn't really doing it for me. A block buff, ignoring Stone Skin, and then just a very simple increased crit damage on all allies. Like, this is a mythical, and I'm gonna join in on a lot of the others that are complaining about her because the second form just seems very, very bland. We had a cool mechanic with that whole leech thing and the chance to put provoke. Like, this this feels like a mythical to me, whereas frankly, this second form, HP based, just makes it seem like she's kind of an epic until we get to this passive. Like, all right, so she's joining in on a single hit person until the third time. Like, we could do better. And maybe I'm off on this. Again, not mastered yet because it's not there. I have the servitude here. Frankly, I just want sustainability. I want her to put leech out there, which I need to increase accuracy. I, I, you know, it's it's kind of weird, but like I just wanted sustainability on her, and that's how I have her as just kind of a support. Uh, Out of these two, who am I going to be using more? I'm definitely going to have a little bit more fun times with Darkseer. I just like that kit. I like AoEs. Playing Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, Diablo, all of Diablos. It was always an AoE. I was mainly that was my main line stuff. So that's why I have a soft spot for any of the AoE dudes in this game. And for her, I, I I'm smitten. But that's it. That's my 19 minutes worth of a video on these two. Find me on Twitch, Noma My Chomsky at twitch.com. I usually stream 7 a.m. Central Standard Time throughout the week. So hope to see you there, and let's have some fun. Take care.